This list is by far the most requested video from you, and I totally understand why. K-Wave themes are among the best in fighting games, or even in video games in general. Truly, this is the hardest list I made so far. I just couldn't stop from changing the order of the entries. Whenever I listened to a track to write about it, I was always like, the theme is too good, it should be higher on the list. Then I listened to the next one and I had the same thought, no, it's this one that should go up. What I want to say, if you don't agree with this ranking, it's fine, don't be offended. Even I don't agree with myself, and I'm pretty sure that if I had to redo this video in the future, the ranking won't be the same. The second problem I encountered was, there just was too many good themes. I initially intended to do a regular top 10, but I couldn't bring myself to choose just 10 tracks. I first came up with 30 entries, and that just off the top of my head, but I didn't want the video to be too long, so I had to do some painful sacrifices and limited the number to 20, but it was still too long. Finally, I decided to divide the video into two parts, with this one being from top 20 to 11. One last thing to keep in mind, I'm only including themes that originated from the K-Wave series. Without further ado, here's the top 20 best themes of the King of Fighters series, part 1. Arguably the best boss theme in 2002 Cutting Edge is the second BGM of Chrysalid, and also the superior one in my opinion, replacing Dear Fallen Angel from K-Wave 99. This epic soundtrack had also found its way to Nintendo's famous title Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The theme perfectly conveys the feeling of urgency with a subtle but beautiful sci-fi vibe. You can almost feel Chrysalid's determination to prove his superiority to K-Dash and his certainty of being the original among the two. And knowing the backstory of these two characters definitely helps making the theme more epic and climactic. The name of the soundtrack, Cutting Edge, is also very fitting in more than one way. On one hand, it describes Chrysalid's high-tech outfit that allows him to collect battle data from his opponents and use it to activate the army of Kyo clones. On the other hand, it also refers to his unforgettable attacks, which are mostly based on cutting and slashing techniques. Despite Chrysalid being the weakest boss in the NES saga, canonically speaking of course, his theme is certainly the most epic. This soundtrack sets the tone immediately with the drum roll. The war beat is perfect for the military-themed theme of the Ikari Warriors. Desert Requiem actually fits pretty much any military game, especially the other SNK successful series, Metal Slug. What's so good about this theme is that each part of it seems to be specific to one of the three soldiers. It starts with the military drum roll as said, announcing the introduction of the whole team. Then it becomes dynamic and energetic, two adjectives that describe Ral's fiery and explosive personality. After that, the theme switches to a more relaxed tone which perfectly matches Clark, the cool and composed soldier as he is known to be. In the last segment, the theme changes drastically and adopts a sinister and menacing tone which clearly describes Hydra's mysterious and deadly powers. Desert Requiem was rearranged more than once in 2002 and 14. Both versions are also very good and highly regarded, but for me the original soundtrack is still the best. This is definitely the saddest theme in the entire series. Tears comes both as a unique and familiar track. The familiarity is noticeable within the Esaka beat in it, which leaves little doubt to the fact that this is a Kyo Kusanagi theme. Marking the end of an era, Tears is a farewell to Kyo Kusanagi as the main protagonist of the King of Fighters series. After being in the central plot of the Orochi saga since K-Wave 94, it's time for him to pass the torch to the new main hero K-Dash. Kyo is no longer the leader of the heroes team. In fact, he doesn't even have a team in 99, and he is featured as a single entry for the first time. His role in the Nest saga is that of a victim rather than a hero, as he was kidnapped and used by the villains to serve their evil objectives. But his friends never forgot about him and kept searching for Kyo until they meet again in a later installment, which is probably what the hopeful tone implies. That being said, there is also the possibility that I'm overthinking about it and the whole theme is just Kyo crying for never being able to finish high school. First used in K-Wave 97, Steel Green, Shingo Yabuki's theme, was one of the very few soundtracks in a game where many veteran K-Wave characters didn't even have their own music. But it wasn't until the following game where Steel Green became one of the series' most memorable themes and best matched Shingo's personality and character. This cheerful theme is perfect for Shingo, the inexperienced fighter with incredible raw strength and potential, witnessed with his critical hits that deal tons of damage even with their lack of finesse and the fire element. Shingo is strong, but his size still needs a lot of honing. His desperation to impress his senpai and master Kyo leads him to do foolish things as well, like challenging entire teams all by himself and compete against mighty opponents despite all the odds that are against him. I like the optimistic vibe of the theme that can be translated as Shingo's hope that he can catch fire someday. Undoubtedly, the cruelest and most evil boss of the entire series, Genitz has a fitting and unforgettable theme that you've probably heard more than you've wanted. Thankfully, and unlike its infuriating combat, Genitz BGM is much more enjoyable. He is the most fervent and loyal servant of Orochi, and despite his eloquent speech and flowery manners, he is a very vicious and cold-blooded murderer. The list of his awful crimes includes taking Rugal's eye as a trophy, making Leona kill her parents and her entire village, assassinating Maki Kagura and breaking the seal of Orochi, beating Kyo to near death and forcing him to entirely reinvent his fighting style, making Iori kill Vice and Mature, and finally killing himself as a sacrifice for the resurrection of Orochi, insisting on being a pain in the butt until the very end. His theme, Trash Head, succeeds in conveying an unsettling feeling of despair that complements the superb apocalyptic stage where innocent spectators are horrifically carried away by Genitz's tornadoes. It's worth mentioning that this soundtrack has other arrangements, and while they are all pretty good, I still think that the OST is the best among them. Just from the name of this song, you can tell that Queen is without a doubt Elizabeth's theme, the newcomer to K-Wave 11 and the leader of the new rivals team with Benimaru and Dulon. The fusion of classic and rock music is top-notch. The beautiful violin of this song is a clear reference to Elizabeth's noble origins. She is the last heiress of the Blontoch household and a childhood friend of the saga's anti-hero Ash Crimson, who she intends to stop. The theme fits her serious and proud personality, as well as her determination in reaching her goal. It also has a dynamic techno part that matches the characters of her two partners, especially the electric fighter Benimaru. Elizabeth also has another theme called Each Promise, used in K-Wave 13, and is also pretty good. But I feel that Queen is vastly superior, knowing that the rivals team were the canonical winners of K-Wave 11, which gives the title of the soundtrack more sense. Elizabeth is really a queen. mutually exclusive Dichotomy, the name of the soundtrack, has many similarities with the original Esaka, but in a twisted and dark way. This is hardly surprising since it's the theme of the three Kyo clones in 2002 UM, who are among the most underrated characters in the series. Despite being copies of Kyo, each one of them has enough differences in terms of personality and gameplay that make each one of them original in his own way. The stoic and robotic Kyo 1 has the most unique fighting style compared to the other clones, and even to Kyo himself. Kyo 2 uses mainly Kyo's moveset from 98 with light variations and some unique supers, and he seems to have a mind and personality on his own, demonstrated by a clear arrogance and cockiness. The last clone, Kusanagi, easily noticeable by his dark skin and enraged voice, is not the creation of science but of magic, and he uses Kyo's techniques from 95. Even though they are quite different from each other, they all share a deep hatred for the original Kyo, that and one of the best themes of 2002 UM.
Understand the concept of love.
The original big boss of KOF, Rugal, has many themes reserved just for him, but if I had to pick just one, then my choice goes to Guitar to Omega to Rugal, his theme from KOF 95. I know that this is not his most famous music, but it is the one that clicks the most with me. Maybe because of nostalgia, since 95 was the first KOF I ever played. Anyway, I love the theme, and I think that is the best soundtrack for Rugal. The arranged version starts with the sinister bells announcing the end of the road for whoever the player has picked. This is it. The climactic final battle is about to start. Then Rugal enters the stage and shows his Omega form for the first time. Everything is going to be settled at this moment. And what makes matters more complicated is that this fight comes after another one against brainwashed Saishu, who by no means was a pushover. My only complaint about the theme is that you never get to hear it for long. I don't think I need to tell you why. Rugal is after your head, and if you're not careful enough, he will wrap up this encounter quicker than you can imagine. And just what's with the understand the concept of love at the beginning? Am I missing something? Or is love a synonymous word for genocide culture? KOF 2002 UM is in no shortage of high-quality soundtracks. One of the best BGMs of this game is Zhe Prime, the personal theme of Nameless, and one of the reasons why this character is so loved and even preferred by many over his counterpart K49. As a character that was present in only one game and a non-canonical one at that, Nameless has certainly a very deep and detailed backstory. As one of the latest products of Nest, his sole motivation is to revive his lover, who was cruelly killed by the evil syndicate during experiments. He has no choice but to carry out Nest's orders and becoming one of their assassins. There is little doubt that the moment Nameless succeeds in reviving Isolda, he will turn on them, but Nest knows that as well, and before getting at that point, they'll make sure to exploit his power as much as they can. Zhe Prime, which is also Nameless' codename, perfectly captures the conflicting feelings within him, a mix of sadness, hope, determination, and a lot of anger. He may be the edgiest character of KOF, but he has good reasons for being as such. After the sad tears of 99 comes the hopeful and energetic Goodbye Esaka of 2000. Depicting the struggle of Kyo against Nets, this theme announces that the payback time has come. Goodbye Esaka marks the return of Kyo Kusanagi after being kidnapped by Nets, getting his DNA stolen and overshadowed by a new protagonist. But now he is back and he is angry, determined to pay them back for what they did to him. This theme sounds like he was fighting the whole world alone, and in a sense, he was. Kyo didn't have any teammates in KOF 2000 and was presented as a single entry just like in the previous game. He refused to go back home or contact his friends. He didn't want them to get involved in his personal quest for revenge. It was his war and he is alone, and he was determined to win it no matter what. The name of the theme can also be interpreted as a goodbye from SNK to their fans. KOF 2000 looked like it was going to be their final work, and before getting bankrupt, it seems they put every drop of creativity they had in this last masterpiece of a theme. And that was the first half of my top 20 themes in KOF. If your favorite music is not in the list, make sure to watch the second part when it comes out. Chances are it's among the top 10. Special thanks to my patrons for their generous support. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and why not consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching.